These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
Marcus Smart continued to be solid at the helm. I mean, he's throwing passes around there crazy. If you go back to that Minnesota game, we talked about it on the pregame. We tweeted about it. Like, he played like the leader, the captain of the Celtics that game. He kind of pulled them out of the funk. He was moving the ball around. And even in the first half, he was making crazy passes and shots weren't falling off him. And he still had double-digit assists. Against Milwaukee, he made some insane passes. He had the bounce pass on the break to Tatum. He had an alley-oop to Rob that was out of a pick and roll between him and Tatum. It was just like a sick read where Rob was just open underneath. And also, how about Brook Lopez looking like he's the least coordinated person on the planet, but still being able to block
every
shots?
time.
No, I said it. I was watching with my buddy Devin, and I was like, man, how the hell is this guy impacting winning? Like, not only is Brook Lopez able to defend, and he's had a solid impact against the Celtics yesterday, but as a whole, he's having a really like solid season. 15 points and 6 rebounds, I think he averages, something like that. Couple blocks. Like, he's having a prime season or like a vintage season for Brook Lopez. Like, he's actually
he's playing very well.
For somebody that moves like he's the Tin Man who hasn't been oiled. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. He's having a great season. I mean, he's just one of the best defenders in the league around the rim, and they play a style of defense, excuse me, that allows him to play that way. But I do want to talk about Smart because he has been so good this year, and I think these last 3 games from Indiana to Minnesota to Milwaukee have shown it because he didn't play in the Indiana game. And that offense, at least, especially in the first half, was dreadful. It was like they were going to isolation. They were just hucking up shots. It was absolutely awful. Then in the Minnesota game, 10 assists. In the Bucks game, 8 assists. Like he has been a top 10 passer in the league this year. The assists tell you that he's 13 assists per game, 7th in like total assists. Like the connection he has with Tatum and Brown, I think, is the most impressive part, right? Because like we said this on the pregame show, I think yesterday on Christmas. Over the years, he has been able to develop that chemistry, and that is why he's the perfect point guard for this team. Like, he's played with Jalen and Jason throughout their entire career. Like, and you see the difference when Brogdon is handling the ball and White's handling the ball. This is not like a knock on them. Like, they're great passers, they're great point guards. But when Smart's holding the ball, you can just like tell that he knows where Tatum and Brown are going to go. Like, the amount of assists that Marcus Smart gets just from Tatum and Brown cutting him and him knowing where they're going to be, like, it's the perfect point guard. I wrote about him for Celtics blog, like compiling some quotes. Like, I included him talking to Jaylen Brown after the Timberwolves game. I assume you saw that, him saying, like, pumping him up, saying this is how you need to play, like him being the great teammate, all that stuff. Also, congratulations to Marcus Smart for getting engaged. Absolute legend.
Awesome.
But even still in the comments, you have people saying like bad stuff about Marcus Smart. Like, I just don't get how people can like.
Yeah, some people are idiots.
Still talk bad about it. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm trying to find
the Patriots are bad. The Patriots fans are here early this year. That's what it is.
Exactly. And like, we have one nice comment. Smart should be in the All-Star team. He's better than this player. Like, fighting for that. Like, I agree. That's good. But like, there was one comment that I'm trying to find right now about him, like, and the 3-point shots being bad. Like, I pointed out in the article I wrote, he took 0 threes when like against the Bucks, like 0 threes, and he had a phenomenal game. And yet the entire comment section is still like, yeah, he took no threes. That's what he should be doing because he's bad. And I'm like, this is not the takeaway we should have.
Marcus Smart, by the way, is like the only guy over the last like 2 weeks that's made threes.
Right?
He's like the only one. He's the only guy that's been somewhat consistent shooting the ball is him. Not that he should be chucking. There is truth to all of it. I mean, he's definitely at his best when he's shooting less and passing more. And we kind of hit it on that Christmas pregame, but it's really impressive the way he's able to set up his teammates and create baskets without being a superstar scorer and really demanding the focus of a defense to where the defense has to leave his teammates open. He's setting these guys up and getting them good looks without having to be the focal point of a defense. Like, he's not getting the extra gravity. He's not. He's just that good. He's throwing fancy passes.
He's phenomenal.
I mean, even the setup for that Tatum dunk over Giannis was just so pretty because it was so smooth. It was just a give and go, but he got Lopez to hop out on him.
Yeah.
Really, without doing anything. He didn't even, I don't even think he looked at the basket if you watch the slow-mo replay. He just,
I found it.
Whatever he did worked. He's got it going.
I found the comment on the Celtics blog article I wrote about Smart. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I give him a combined 6 out of 10 for offense and defense. He still has the tendencies to shuck threes when things aren't going right for the offense and at the most inopportune times. He can make or break the team. If he ever becomes consistent from game to game, they may reach their peak. Just my 2 cents. You Marcus lovers will totally disagree, but that's my opinion. He is what he is. This after a game where he quite literally shot 0 threes. 0 threes. Let me say that again. He shot 0 threes, and we're complaining about his offense because he takes bad. Like, I will never understand the Marcus hate. I will fully admit, like I'll say time and time again, he's not like the superstar point guard. He's not like an all-star. He's not, Kyrie Irving, even though we hate him. He's not, Tyrese Halliburton. He's never going to be that like top of the top Chris Paul elite point guard. But for this Celtics team, he is perfect. He is perfect. He is a phenomenal passer. He has finally accepted that role. He can hit threes. He's hitting is he shooting his best ever from 3 this season? Because it's very possible that he's shooting his best ever from 3 this season.
I don't know.
Third. It's his third best season. He's
Yeah.
shooting 34.4%. He
His
shot
best was
36. Yeah, 36.4 in 2018-19. And then he shot 34.7 in 2019-20. But also only played 60 games because it was the shortened season.
This is the most prominent role he's had in the offense, and he's thriving.
Absolutely.
I don't get why people are still mad. They're just not paying attention.
That's what I'm saying. He's averaging a career high 7.4 assists, and it's not like his previous career high was 7.3. His previous career high was last year at 5.9. He's averaging 1.5 more assists this year. He's shooting this is his most efficient shooting season ever. He's shooting 43.1% from the field. His next highest is 42.2.
Which is kind of funny to say, but
I know that's the career high, but like he's shooting, and the only reason it's so low is because of his 3-point shot. He's shooting 54% from the field, like from 2-point range, right?
Yeah,
like,
he does a great job in the paint, on the drive,
that's what I was just gonna say.
Post, whatever it is.
So good.
He's so reliable when he gets inside. He's just not being asked to do that. And that's not really what you want if you're the Celtics. You really just need him to pass the ball and be open if he's ready to shoot a 3. If someone's kicking it out, fine. But when he gets inside, he's finishing a lot. His left hand has a sweet touch. Like, you can rely on him, and you've seen him, I believe, maybe even against the Timberwolves, if I'm remembering correctly, force the issue and kind of take over in that aspect, going to the basket. Actually, maybe not against the Timberwolves because he only had 6 points early, and they were both threes. But there have been games this season where the Celtics have struggled, and he's taken the initiative and gone inside and tried to get the team going.
Yes.
Maybe it was Miami that he did that. There have been games. I can't remember off the top of my head, and this sounds really bad if you are against what I'm saying. You're like, he can't think of anything. But
well, he did it against Milwaukee. You saw him go down in the paint and score over Wesley Matthews when he had an open look, and the Celtics needed a jolt. Like, he does that every game. I know exactly what you're talking about. He gets down low, he backs up, he does the spin move and takes.
Not even that. There was a game where they were like dying. They were dead dogs, and he was like, "Let's go."
Yeah, I think it might have been Miami. I think it might have been Miami. It was one of those games in there. Yeah, no, he's been great. And like you said, over the last 10 games, the Celtics are shooting poorly. I'm talking Derek White shooting 21%, Sam Hauser shooting 28%, Jaylen Brown shooting 30% from, this is all from 3. Marcus Smart shooting 34% from deep, which isn't great, but like considering how poorly the rest of the team is shooting, he is one of the more reliable shooters on the team. Which again, isn't what you want for Marcus Smart. You don't want him to be that role because it's not what he's best at, but like we need to stop acting like he's taking bad threes. Like I can't remember a bad 3 he's taken this year, right? And there definitely have been some. I'm not saying he's only taking good threes, but like off the top of my head, in years past, I could absolutely name bad 3s he's taken, right? Like I will be the first one to admit that sometimes he takes 3s that probably aren't the best. But this year, and even most of last year, he hasn't been taking those shots.
It's probably the lowest it's been.
Absolutely. And a big reason why is because the ball's not, the ball is in his hands, right? As ironic as it may sound, the best way to make sure Smart doesn't take those looks that everyone hates is by giving him the ball more, because then he'll pass it and distribute instead of shooting. So I don't understand the hate for Marcus Smart. I know you never have either. I'm not like
I've always been a big fan. I've always thought he's a great player, thought he was a good personality for the team. Awesome. I thought he had good leadership qualities. He's a really great guy off the court. I remember I went to a game. I don't remember when. It was before. It was like, it might have been when Kyrie got here. I don't remember. But I just remember Marcus going up and like into the loge to take pictures of people that wanted pictures.
He's
with him.
awesome.
And I was
awesome.
like, wow,
There
like,
was
that's crazy. He does that. Nobody else doing that.
I don't know if you've seen this guy on Twitter. His name's Nathan Marazia. He's like a Bucks fan. He's a Bucks fan.
Okay.
He's one of the more frustrating Bucks fan out
good.
there. I befriended a Bucks fan on Twitter though. Fun fact. Snell season.
Shame on you.
Good guy. Good guy. But this Nathan guy on Twitter, he tweeted out some Celtics fans are going to be getting Marcus Smart jerseys on Christmas. I feel bad for them or something like that.
It's kind of funny.
And he deleted it. But my thing is, this is the same dude who like helped Drew Holiday like he was very nice to one of your favorite players. So like what I don't get it. Like let's chill out. Like he is very well known in the league as a very nice dude,
first
a very
team all good guy.
dude, right? Like I don't get it. It just
I get like opposing fans hating him because like he's an irritant. That's what he does on the floor. But if you don't know about like how like good of a guy he is or whatever,
show him some respect.
It.
Like
he's a cool guy. Good for him. He got engaged. The video was cool, even though Will Smith's a rat list. That was not the person I was going to put on the rat list that I teased to Jack. But Will Smith can be on the rat list. Also on the rat list.
Is he rat list because of the Chris Rock
slap? That's outrageous. Guy's doing comedy. You go up there and slap him. You serious?
I love the rat list.
I
absolutely love the
also
rat list.
On the rat list. The Nasses. No business being in the NBA, and he's talking the most. I mean, that guy's a bum. They brought in the bench yesterday when the game was out of hand, and he didn't even get in. He's still on his bench with the warm-ups on. And he's getting arguments with players on the Celtics. I tweeted it yesterday and he did well. I hope Smart told him he's only in the league because of his last name.
I love the rat list. The rat list is my favorite segment. I want to do more with the rat list, but before we move on from Marcus Smart, I do want to ask, where does he rank in the league in terms of point guards? I want to go through quickly because I think
that's a good question.
Mostly because this will be a good short, and we can post this places. But I want to talk about where Marcus ranks in the league in terms of point guard. And I can feed you names. Let me.
I think Halliburton might be number one
right now.
Yeah, he's distributing the ball really well. You saw him score crazy against the Celtics, followed it up with another monster game.
Okay,
he's like single-handedly bringing that Pacers team into being relevant. Whether it's just because he's able to create for everybody else and other guys being able to fill their roles well, you have to credit those guys too. If you're not getting assists without shots falling, don't get me wrong. But the fact that he's got that team into somewhat of legitimacy when before the season, you and I were saying they were literally going to be top 3 lottery, it's pretty crazy. So I think he deserves a lot of credit there. Fun player to watch. Number 2. Oh man, I think
Curry. Curry's up there.
Curry or Ja, both of them maybe are above Halliburton. It's kind of unfair.
We don't have to go in direct order, but like I want to get into the range where we think Smart would be. So like Halliburton, Curry, Ja, Luka, all up there. Obviously,
Luka point guard.
If you want to call him, come on.
This is where it gets tough.
Okay, fine. Getting back, Lillard is above him. He's got to be.
Yeah, Lillard.
Trae Young. Do you put
Trae
Young
above him still?
Sure. James Harden. Point guard, shooting guard, effectively same thing. Kyrie, unfortunately, I know you don't love him, but he's a better player.
He's on the rat list.
Bro, I can't tell you how much I love the rat list. That might be the favorite bit. Chris Paul, do you put him above Marcus right now?
What's his numbers this year?
Let's take a look. He's been hurt for a long time. I don't know if he's back yet, but so far this year,
point guard is a funny position to rank because
he's averaging 12, 5, and 9.
Yeah, he's better.
Okay.
Point guard is a funny position for me because to me, obviously Curry, Ja, Dame Lillard are all great point guards.
You put
Garland's a great point guard. He averages a ton of assists too. But for me, it's more impressive for a point guard to be able to create for other people. That's why Paul's up there. Those 9 assists are impressive.
Why you love Halliburton?
That's why Halliburton was the first player that came to mind, is just because how impactful he is to that Pacers team. I think Smart has a similar impact to the Celtics. You saw it. You literally night and day from that Pacers game to the Timberwolves game. When he's out there pulling the strings, the team plays a lot better. It doesn't mean he's the most skilled. And we talked about the all-star spots. We've seen it on Twitter. And it's really tough to say he would get in just because there's so many skilled point guards in the East that are great scorers and whatnot. but he's a really great distributing point guard, a pure point guard, I guess. He's a great point guard for a great team.
Yep.
He passes the ball and plays good defense, which ideally is what you want out of a point guard on a championship team. Go throughout history, it's really tough to find teams, not the Warriors, that have a point guard as their best player. It kind of doesn't happen. Curry is fantastic, always has been. Going back, Lowry wasn't the best player on the Raptors. He was one of the best, but he wasn't the best. Tony Parker up there, but maybe not the best. Kawhi still the best on those Spurs teams. Obviously Duncan too. Before that though, it's really hard to like think of really great point guards. Like
Chauncey Billups, I guess, is the last
Chauncey Billups, Isaiah Thomas, Magic. Yeah, not a lot. The list is very short.
Yes, short list. So getting back to like the range, Smart might be in. Garland, you put above Smart, I assume. You mentioned the assists. I think this is the range where we start to get into will Smart be there? Garland in your effectively your top 10 would probably be not in order. Halliburton, Curry, Luka, Dame, Trey, Harden, Ja, Kyrie, CP3, Garland. Like that would be around the top 10 point guards in the league.
Yeah, that's fair.
So the next range would be Jamal Murray. Smart better than you put Smart above Jamal Murray.
That's tough. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. Availability is also very important to me.
He's playing
can't be that great from sitting in wearing a nice suit jacket.
He's averaging like 18, 4, and 6.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's LaMelo.
Might be I'll put it like this. I'd rather have Smart on the Celtics than Jamal Murray.
Okay. There's like LaMelo, Fred VanVleet, De'Aaron Fox is up there. Playing well, Jalen Brunson, CJ McCollum. Like, do we think this is the range Smart belongs in right now?
I'd say yes.
Okay.
Again, it's just tough because they're scorers. Scoring and being a distributor are two different and two very important skill sets to have.
Yep.
So if you broke up point guards into great scoring point guards and great distributing point guards, you would have two different top 10s, I think.
Well, I'll put it this way: among point guards, Smart is, I'm talking in terms of assists here. Harden is the top point guard in assists, then Halliburton, then Trae Young, then Chris Paul, then LaMelo Ball, John Morant, Darius Garland, Russell Westbrook, Drew Holiday, who we forgot to mention, Mike Conley, Marcus Smart. So he's top 10 among point guards in terms of assists. So he is absolutely up there.
And he's better than Russ. He's probably better than Mike Conley right now. Even though Mike Conley deserves a ton of credit because he's an important piece to that Jazz team who's also a surprise.
Yes.
Similar to Halliburton. But I'd rather
Mike
have
Conley
Smart.
Putting up very similar numbers to Smart. He's averaging 9.5 points, 2 rebounds, 7.5 assists. Smart's 11.
I like Conley a lot.
7.5.
Always have.
Yes, Drew Holiday, I'll admit though, is probably above Smart in the rankings. I really respect Drew Holiday.
They're very similar players, almost the same, except Holiday's probably a better scorer.
He's just a better offensive player, I think.
Yeah.
Shout out Drew Holiday. I'm a big Drew Holiday fan, but yeah. Okay, so I'd say
he looks probably weird now that he has muscles though.
Yeah, he
was a lot cooler when he was skinny.
He's a strong dude now. I'd probably say Smart top 15 point guards. And I know that's like half the teams, but like considering most of the top point guards are like Ja, Steph, Luka,
it's just tough. Like in the league today,
it's a guard
heavy. A lot
league.
of the best players are point guards.
A lot of guard heavy league. It's huge. Yeah, being top point guards, having one is very crucial. I guess there aren't many teams out there like most of the title contenders are led by a top point guard, right? Like you got. Obviously, like Drew Holiday is not the guy in Milwaukee, but like the Warriors, Steph Curry, the Warriors, John Morant, the Cavs are just guard tandem. I mean, even the Nets have a start. Like most of the top teams, I would say, are top point guards. It's tough.
That being said, though, there are very few point guards in the league I would plug and play instead of Smart on the Celtics.
Okay, so I'll ask you that then.
And even chemistry aside, like just imagining that you could put somebody else in and they would have the same chemistry.
Okay,
it
so
would be very tough.
Who would you, if you could have any point guard in the league over Marcus Smart? Halliburton. Okay,
and that's tough just because he doesn't really play defense. Not over him. I don't know. I think he's a great fit with the Celtics, but
I know he
is a player that I would plug and play and be okay with it.
I'm glad you're such a big Halliburton fan because before the season I was singing his praises, and now we can both enjoy him.
I always thought he was pretty good. I didn't know
he was this good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Halliburton you would take above Smart if you had the choice. Probably.
I don't like this. Stop it.
Curry. I'm not gonna stop Curry.
I don't know if I. This is going to sound
getting into the.
I don't know if I would
take.
plug him in instead because they're different players.
And
there's the short.
So what you're saying, Sam, is you would not take Stephen Curry on the Celtics over Marcus Smart.
This is bad. We need to move on. This is my green glasses, 1,000,000%.
We're gonna be on.
And
TikTok,
I like Curry.
Everyone's gonna point out, oh, he's got the Celtics jerseys in the back. Of course, he's saying.
No, I
that.
got my Smart jersey right there. It's right there.
So let me get this cut and dry though. You would take Marcus Smart on the Celtics over Stephen Curry.
I don't know.
I'm gonna need a yes or no answer.
It's close.
I know.
Here's why. Because I think if you add another score, things start to get kind of complicated.
Okay. I
like a real like
Kemba.
Even
and
though
Kyrie.
I'll say this, no, I'll actually. You know what? I would, and here's why.
Okay.
Because you saw Curry play.
I'm cutting
so well.
this out of the short.
Okay, that's fine. Good. But this is legit. This is true. This is not because I got scared. I just like Curry was able to play so well and work Kevin Durant into that Warriors offense and be unselfish that he's a great scorer that I don't think would have a negative impact. It wouldn't be too many cooks in the kitchen if he was on the Celtics.
Okay, so what about Luka?
Yeah, I'd rather have Smart than Luka. There you go. There's your short. And here's why. Because he literally dominates the ball. Look at the way now he kind of has to. Dallas kind of sucks other than Luka. But in all seriousness, you're not going to get the best Luka or the best Tatum.
Yeah.
If they're on the same team.
And definitely not the best Smart.
And you're not going to get defense.
Jalen, not the best Jalen. Okay.
You're not getting defense.
All right, we can cut.
Last one. Come on.
Taco's having some fun here.
Nah, Josh too much fun.